The Guardian / Chapter 7. Historical fiction inspired by Malta's past. All characters and dialogue are invented for storytelling. Welcome to The Guardian. Il-Hares, Il-Hares. The French had gone. The British had come. Grand Harbor filled with steel warships, clerks, and cargo. Malta adapted, as it always does. I watched it all. In Marsa, I watched two children grow. Manuel uttered, barefoot on warm stone, quick to throw a pebble at a goal and quick to regret it. At 17 his hands were calloused from dock work. Maria Gretsch moved more quietly. At 15 she carried books while others carried water. Her father worked for the British administration, so their home was a little steadier than most. They raced along harbor walls and hunted sea glass after storms until ambition and hunger began pulling them apart. In 1910 AD, Maria showed Manuel a wrapped book, English grammar. She said she must learn it properly to work in the British offices someday. At the harbor they watched British warships slide past, all steel and steam. Iron monsters floating on my waters, their compass needles wavering when they passed over older stones. Stone paths diverge. Two young hearts choose directions. Salt wind, restless flags. In 1913 AD, Lieutenant Charles Barnum arrived in Valletta and noticed Maria at a British shipping office, translating and keeping ledgers. He returned often, speaking of England and opportunity. The Great War tightened life without bringing battle to Malta streets. Supplies thinned. Prices rose. Rationing hardened. Manuel worked any hour offered while his family struggled. Maria worked for the administration. Barnum returned with a limp and medals, and his attention became a careful courtship welcomed by Maria's parents. In November 1917 AD, rain pushed Manuel and Maria under cover near St. John's. Old closeness resurfaced. They began meeting in secret, each time saying it would be the last. One evening Manuel finally gave Maria the silver Maltese cross he had saved for over months, fastening it around her neck with trembling fingers. She wore it hidden beneath her clothes and touched it when doubt crept in. By spring 1918 AD, Maria knew she was pregnant. She told no one. I tried to help in the only way I can. Beneath an old fig tree near Manuel's home lay Phoenician coins, buried and forgotten. I shifted soil. I fluttered leaves. Manuel looked down, felt something, and walked on. In July, Maria accepted Barnum's proposal. The wedding was set for September, before her condition showed. She wrote Manuel a letter she never sent, tore it up, wrote another, burned it. In the end, she chose safety. Survival. Mathematics. Secret meetings end. A child grows in silence now. Two futures divide. June 7, 1919 AD dawned hot in Valletta. The war had ended months earlier, but hardship remained. Food was scarce, prices high, work uncertain. A crowd formed near the grain stores and moved toward Strada Real, chanting for bread and a stronger Maltese voice. British troops formed a line near the Royal Opera House. Accounts differed on what sparked the clash. Stones flew. A window broke. Rifles were raised. I felt the metallic click of mechanisms and pushed into springs and pins. For rifles jammed. A fifth slipped through my grasp. Shots cracked. Near Strada Forni, Manuel was hit and fell. His hand clutched the small cross beneath his shirt. I wrapped my awareness around the silver, trying to pull life back through metal. But metal cannot stop blood, cannot mend flesh, cannot hold a soul. Manuel was gone. A shot splits the air. One man falls on ancient stones. A nation wakes slow. In an apartment near the Upper Baracca Gardens, Maria sat with her hands over the swell of her stomach while Captain Barnum watched the harbor. A radio announcement reported a confirmed fatality. Maria wiped a tear before it fell. Her unborn child kicked hard. She said she was fine. Days later, rain soaked the funeral. A small girl, Senza Calleja, asked why they put cousin Manuel in the ground. Her father said he loved Malta too much, and some loves are dangerous. I could not touch her, so I warmed the metal buttons on her coat for a moment. Life continued under the British flag. Barnum was promoted and transferred back to England in late 1919. Maria went with him, 7 months pregnant, and bore a son, Dennis Barnum. One day he would return to Malta's skies, unaware of what tied him to these stones. In Valletta, June 7th became a rallying point. In 1921 AD, a constitution granted Malta limited self-government. Not independence, but a step. Sensa grew into her questions, joining the movement to protect Maltese words as English pressed in. I am Il-Hares. I watch children grow and I remember what they cost. Visit Malta. Go to ManicMalta.com/G0 for a family-run Airbnb. 7. Short.